Hey guys, I just jump on here real quick. Not political, more geeky, sciency kind of theory crafting. Sitting here watching a conversation between Neil deGrasse Tyson and astrophysicist J. Richard Gott III. It's like an hour and a half conversation. I'm like 40 minutes into it. But a few kind of random topics have been kind of swirling in my head that I've always thought about in the past. I figured I put it on video. So I'll try and see if I could put a link to the video on YouTube of their conversation. But so kind of the out there theory with regards to UAPs or UFOs or whatever you want to call them, and they actually being aliens, not just like, some secret, you know, vehicle by the Chinese or Russians or the U.S. military, DARPA, or whatever. That what we call like UFOs, if they're actually aliens, they are future time traveling Martians that were Earthlings that moved to Mars and then eventually evolved into the form that is characterized through pop culture with reports of abductions and stuff like that, with like the big eyes and the slender and the light skin and all that. So I mean, Mars has a lower gravity. We're most likely going to have to live underground or something to protect with the radiation. I do know there may be different technologies. I honestly, it's not aliens. At least I don't think. But that's always been like my favorite. Like, if it was aliens, that's what it is. That would be the coolest thing. It'd be like time traveling. They come back and they would just observe like what the fuck we did, type of thing. So that's kind of like my first idea I've always thought about, that they kind of talked or they kind of covered a little bit in this podcast. The second theory, which is more of a recent one for me, it's regards to like the Big Bang and like the issue with like how are we here, like with the quantum physics of it, that whenever energy in the field is created, a matter and an antimatter pair are created, and then in theory, eventually they will all cancel each other out, you know, and basically they'll just be like light left over from the recombination in the energy field and all that. So, physicists and astrologists and astrophysicists and whatever you want to call yourselves, they always say it was like, oh, one in like every like million or billion pairs, some reason there was only a matter created. and and that don't make sense to me. I mean, I kind of understand, but I kind of like, you know, nature is nature. It doesn't really fuck up that much. Um, I mean, 1 in a billion or whatever that number is. So, my theory is that not everything we see in the universe is actually matter. And there are pockets of regions of the universe where antimatter dominates that region because of the way that the distribution of the matter antimatter whenever they were created and then cosmic inflation happened, that such a vast distance was created that separated these like regions of space, that there was an overdominance of either matter or antimatter in that region, and that now after billions of years of inflation and expansion, that these pockets have been separated enough that there are regions of space that are all antimatter. Now, my question is, could we even tell the difference between an antimatter sun and a matter sun? Does an antimatter proton look the same to us as a proton from regular matter? I mean, energy is energy, but with supersymmetry, could we even tell the difference between a proton or a photon, excuse me, not a proton, a photon that's produced by an antimatter sun and a photon that was produced by like our sun? And I just think that, maybe, these pockets got separated. So now, like, there's, all the matter, antimatter collided, but there was so much more abundance of antimatter in this area that it collapsed down into what we see today. And then, like, our regions had an overabundance of matter, and it eventually collapsed down into what we see today. So that's my idea about the matter antimatter issue with the original creation of the universe. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Be good to each other. Be respectful. See you guys next time. Deuces. Oh yeah, November 29th, 2024. Black Friday.